and welcome to your weekly wrestling recap. I'm your host, Johnny Highlander. So, a lot of interesting things been going on in the world of wrestling today, mostly on SmackDown and Raw. We've been seeing setup for the SmackDown versus Raw feud that's going to be going on at Survivor Series this year. Last week we just had the invasion of SmackDown by the Raw roster. 3 weeks ago we had the invasion of the of Raw by the SmackDown roster. It's exciting. It's cool to see. Another big story is that Triple H has replaced Kurt Angle's kayfabe son Jason Jordan on the Raw Survivor Series team. And this is just another case of ratings being low, ticket sales being low at the live events. And so, in order to drum up ticket sales and in order to bring in more asses in the seats, they brought in Triple H. On the SmackDown side, they brought in John Cena, even though Cena is pretty much off to Hollywood doing his thing over there. He's graduated just like Dwayne The Rock Johnson from the WWE, and he's graduated to Hollywood. So even though John Cena has left to go and do his own thing, they brought him back for Survivor Series, one of their big four pay-per-views, right there along with WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. And they brought him back in for Survivor Series just to make it a more interesting card. But actually, I feel like the WWE has done a real good job of making the card interesting. Now we've got the Shield versus the New Day, which I think people are excited to see. The New Day, uh, frequently on a pay per view, they'll be the best match of the night. So people are excited to see the New Day versus the Shield. And definitely the Shield is one of the best things the WWE has done in the last few years. They're definitely one of the most over groups. They're very popular, especially Rollins and Ambrose. Reigns, not as much. And they're using the Shield as a vehicle to promote Roman Reigns, which is sad to see. Instead of just letting the Shield go out and do its own thing, run roughshod over everyone in their path, they're just using the Shield to promote Roman Reigns, and it lessens the characters of Ambrose and Rollins by association, because it's like they're not good enough to be the main eventer that Vince McMahon wants them to be. Only Roman is good enough to be that main eventer. And probably, without a doubt, the plan is still to have Roman Reigns take the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. I personally would be happy, happy, happy to see Matt Hardy win the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 34. So let's make that go viral. Hashtag Matt Hardy Universal Champion. But, we can all dream. So, like I said, a lot of interesting things over there on Impact Wrestling. I was surprised to see Jimmy Jacobs come in and sit at the commentary desk for a while. But props to Jimmy for landing on his feet. He was recently let go by the WWE for some minor infraction, which was in fact taking a selfie with some of his favorite wrestlers, which just so happened to not be employed by the WWE. In fact, they were the members of the Bullet Club, Cody Rhodes, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll. So he took a picture with these guys, posted it on social media, and that was it for Vince McMahon. He just gave him his walking papers after that. But Jimmy Jacobs has popped up there on Ring of Honor. Everybody has been very welcoming to him, especially the Bullet Club, obviously. And now he just showed up on Impact. It was cool to see him there on Impact. As far as Impact goes, I still hold out hope for Impact Wrestling. I want them to succeed. They do have some talented guys there. I'll just mention the Cowboy, James Storm, very talented. EC3, very, very talented heel. Lashley, I don't know how much Lashley still has to offer to the world of pro wrestling. Uh, Even EC3, I feel like he's not happy where he is and he would like to move on to greener pastures, and those greener pastures are out there. Like EC3 could easily go to New Japan and find a more receptive audience, and I'm sure that the WWE would be happy to take him back. Of course, though, he would probably flounder there, just like Dolph Ziggler. Fact is, Dolph Ziggler is a fantastic wrestler. He's a great worker. The stuff that he says is usually true, but he just he doesn't stand out on the Raw roster or on the SmackDown roster because there are so many other incredibly talented main event guys that they have there that he just gets lost in the shuffle, and it's sad. That's why I've heard people say that Dolph Ziggler should go back to NXT, and I'm not saying that Ziggler should go back to NXT, but you know, maybe maybe like Kenny Omega, he could go and challenge one of the members of the Bullet Club, huh? Maybe WWE would allow that to happen. It seems they've allowed the whole Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega match to go down, which, thank you to the WWE for allowing that to happen on the one hand, because this is like a dream match between Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Like Chris Jericho said in that promo, Alpha versus Omega. It's a pretty cool thing. However, like New Japan did not have a good opponent for Kenny Omega because the main event obviously is going to be Naito versus Okada. Obviously, the main event is going to be Naito versus Okada, and Kenny Omega has wrestled Tanahashi, Okada, Naito 100 times. So he needed someone new. It's not just that WWE has set up this dream match for us. Oh, thank you so much. The fact is that it was necessary to have a good outside opponent come in for Kenny Omega to keep people talking about him. So I'm glad to see it. Uh, as I mentioned, Survivor Series coming up this Sunday. But this Saturday, we have NXT TakeOver War Games, something we haven't seen in 20 years, not since WCW. And we're going to have three amazing teams competing inside this steel cage with two rings. And it's going to be the Authors of Pain, Sanity, and I'll tell you, Nikki Cross is just one of my favorite female wrestlers in the world. She just puts on a great match every time. You owe it to yourself to go and watch the triple threat match between her and Asuka and Ruby Riott. If you have an idea that women's wrestling is inferior to men's wrestling, this match, I feel, should put those ideas to bed and show you that the women can do just as good as the men if they're given the opportunity, if they're given the proper opportunity. And also Big Damo, who's now called Killian Dane, just doing amazing things there in Sanity. And of course, the last team is the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. And with the Undisputed Era, we have another case of the WWE trying to capitalize on the success of the Bullet Club. Like Adam Cole used to be a member of the Bullet Club. So now they've brought him in, they put him in the main event scene to try and, like I said, capitalize on the popularity of the Bullet Club. Bullet Club is over. Bullet Club is popular. And just like with the club with AJ Styles and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, where they tried to capitalize on the success of the Bullet Club, and just like at TLC, when there was going to be a match between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, which no one wanted to see, and then Bray Wyatt got sick, so who did they replace Bray Wyatt with? AJ Styles, the two former leaders of the Bullet Club. And as soon as that was announced, wrestling fans the world over were just super pumped to see this match. So it's just another indication of the fact that WWE can't come up with their own good ideas and they have to try and piggyback on the success of others. And it's just sad to see. Uh, Hopefully, we can have better storylines and more creativity in the future. And hopefully we can have more people that are able to get a piece of the spotlight, not just a few superstars that get the majority of the spotlight, but able to spread it around so that we can grow younger talent into the superstars that we need them to be. It's the only way that we're going to be able to go into the future. Well, that's all for now, guys. This has been your weekly wrestling recap. I'm your host, Johnny Highlander. Until next time, see you guys later.